Bob Giulianotti, and I actually manage the Abbeymount Studios on behalf of Out of the Blue. I'm also on the board of the Edinburgh Social Enterprise Network, the treasurer in fact. Well, as I said to you earlier on, I actually manage Abbeymount Studios, which is one part of Out of the Blue. And Out of the Blue is an arts and educational trust. It's a social enterprise that was set up 30 years ago, and in that time it's grown dramatically by taking on buildings and projects, some that are well known to the Edinburgh community. You may not be aware, but the Bongo Club is one of our social enterprises, part of the Out of the Blue group. We also have up in Craigmillar, we have studios there. We also have studios, a Meanwell site down off Leith Walk. And then on top of that, we have a music studio in Iona Street. And then the headquarters, which is the Drill Hall in Dalmeny Street, which I'm sure a lot of people know about, the cafe and such like, which is, the cafe takes in something like 20,000 visitors a year. I mean, it's really, really successful in that. When Out of the Blue took on the Drill Hall, they actually bought the Drill Hall, and that became the centre, the core of Out of the Blue. I seem to remember the original Out of the Blue started at the old bus station up in Milne Street, which is no longer there. But that's about the only bit of history that I really know. The Bongo Club's obviously moved around in various places. The other thing about the Drill Hall is there's Blueprint, which is one of our other social enterprises, standalone, that does print services. Well known throughout Edinburgh, so if people are looking for good green printing, then get in touch with Blueprint at the Drill Hall. Abbeymount, which I manage, is an art studios, and we have 49 artist tenants in this studio here. On top of that, there is people that come and go, members of Edinburgh Ceramic Works. So on an annual basis, there is over 2,000 classes and workshops and stuff like that that goes on in Abbeymount. On top of that, there's the professional artists, there's painters, there's fashion designers, there's photographers, there's ceramists, there's mosaic artists, there's printmakers. We've got a huge print studio in Abbeymount. So this building, an old school, is a hive of cultural arts and creative activity. The idea is that we take on this on a 75-year lease from the council and develop the building. It's an old building. It needs a lot of work done to it. For instance, there's no heating. The lighting's antiquated, but we have ideas. We've got really, really good ideas about what this building can be. Community-orientated arts and crafts. It's a blank canvas once we negotiate the lease. So that's basically, like what I do is look after an old building with lots of creative people inside it. The main aim is it's an arts and educational trust. So it's actually to create affordable space for artists and also use the arts and crafts to create a community sort of cohesion environment where people can come and learn about how to do anything, print, ceramics, jewellery, down in the Drill Hall. There's lots of other arts and creatives down there. So it's given people the opportunity to do that. But the people who are running these social enterprises, which the majority are, then they need to be able to have affordable accommodation to do it. And so that's one of the main things that we've tried to do over the last 30 years, is to create that environment where people set up their basic business, social enterprise, and that's the core of really what Out of the Blue do. And even the businesses that we set up that are offshoots of Out of the Blue, you know, they're social enterprises as well. So anything that feeds back into the core business of the organisation, it supports the community and everything it does. Community, effectively, you know, like as I said to you earlier, arts and education. There's a lack of studio space in Edinburgh. People are desperate, you know, to find studio space, and the arts are a great way to basically boost almost like well-being in your community. We have open studios here at Abbeymount, and we have it twice a year, Christmas and once in the summer. And the open studios here, there is something like 700 or 800 people come through the door. People who live in this area didn't know what went on in the building, but now the community knows what goes on in the building. So community is very important to Abbeymount. I mean, all the services throughout the various buildings and things, but the main one in the drill hall, there is the cafe, there's the blueprint, there's printing services, there's renting laboratory space. I mean, we've got small studios in Iona Street that's rented out. People can rent out space down at the drill hall, they can rent out space here to do workshops and classes and things like that. And again, it's something that's lacking in Edinburgh, you know, affordable space, which is the main thing. Yeah, so that's what we do. Exhibition space down in the drill hall. You know, there's exhibitions on all the time in the drill hall. It's well known, you know, and it's actually quite central to sort of Leith area, just off Leith Walk, so it's easy to get to. The heritage buildings, in not just Edinburgh, just about anywhere, it's very important to keep it in the community, and that's what we do Out of the Blue. You know, this old building here, the drill hall, the Iona Street studios, they would have been lost to the community. But we create these pockets of social enterprise activity, you know, through Out of the Blue. So that's what's really important to us. We're fortunate. We've got 30 years experience. We've got really good relationships with politicians, government, local authorities and things like that, because what we do makes a difference to communities. So the kind of support we need is financial support. If we're taking on these buildings, it's an asset to the community, it's an asset to Edinburgh, where, you know, this will be sort of social enterprise hubs. Support, money, capital, we need that to do what we do, and I think it's been proven that we're good at what we do. You know, we are very community orientated. We take assets, so Edinburgh assets, council assets, and turn them into something that is community led. I mean, me personally, because I'm actually part of Edinburgh Social Enterprise Network's board and things, then it tends to be, there's like a directory of social enterprises that I can tap into. Out of the Blue, as an organisation, 30 years experience, it runs very smoothly. But if we're looking for services or products or something, then, you know, that is somewhere we will look. So a directory of the Edinburgh Social Enterprise Network's members is probably something that's important to us. I say I'm a fifer, but I've been in Edinburgh now since 1976. It's just such an easy place to live. It is. It's a small city, so everything is. I cycle everywhere, so I mean everything's within cycle distance, or even walking distance in the centre of the town. It's an international city. It's got just about everything you need in the arts and the crafts. So we're spoiled in Edinburgh. I think really it's a beautiful city. It's great. We've got, Holyrood Park right in the middle of your city. You can be up there on your own sometimes with nobody round about you up Hunter's Bog or that. But so Edinburgh's got a lot to offer, and the Edinburgh Social Enterprise Network in Edinburgh has got over 200 members. And that's amazing for this city. It's really, really good. So that's why I like Edinburgh. And I mean, I've no interest in going anywhere else. It's very hard to leave Edinburgh. You've got everything you need on the doorstep. That's the heartbeat of any community. I mean, it really is. If one of the things that I find particularly difficult is the lack of support in schools for the arts and music in particular. So that's a simple answer for me. It is definitely the heartbeat of a community, the well-being of a community. It just makes people feel good. It gives them an outlet. If you're performing, you have an outlet. If you're listening, it just makes you feel good. Unless it's Johnny Cash singing something, But so that's pretty straightforward for me. Developing this Abbeymount is a big, big project. It's probably the next biggest project that Out of the Blue have done since they bought the drill hole. And that was a huge undertaking, when they took on the drill hole. They learned a lot from it, so we're going to take all that experience and develop this place into an absolute fantastic creative hub right in the centre of Edinburgh. I mean, it really is, Carlton Hill's just up the road, or top of London Road, Easter Road. So that is it. And we're on our way to doing that. Out the Blue does so much, has so many arms to it, that there's not one thing you can actually nail it down as. It's an arts education trust which works in the community, for the community, in lots of different guises. Whether it's Bongo Club, whether it's Blueprint, whether it's renting out the space down the drill hole, whether it's a cafe that's in the heart of a community in Leith, Abbeymount, again, an arts and crafts centre, they're all individually, what come together, and that's what Out the Blue does.